What's up, everyone? This is Ricardo Lund, head engineer at Rakoon Sound Studios, and I want to welcome you to our Tips and Tricks show, where we show information on how we use our equipment and make music. Today we're going to be taking a look at two clones from the famous acid bassline machine, the TB03 from Roland. We're going to be taking a look at the Avalon Bassline and the TB03 Boutique model from Roland, and we're going to be comparing them, showing the differences in workflow, differences in sound, and see which synth is better for you. So without further ado, let's go right into the review. Alright, so we are here with both machines, the Roland Bassline TB03 and the Abstrakt Instruments Avalon Bassline. They're both clones of the legendary TB03, the acid machine. And these machines, they accomplish a similar purpose, but there are very big differences between both. So let's get straight into it. Let's start here in the TB03, how that sounds. I have everything made up here to this TR08. I'm gonna take off the resonance, open up the filter. Take off the envelope, raise the resonance. Right, very nice sounding filter, very pleasant. Replicates the TB03 really well. Now let's go to the Avalon Bassline and see how that sounds. Again, I'm gonna open up take off the envelope. Now open up the resonance. Very nice. Right, so they both have very nice filters. They replicate the 303 very well. I'm also going to talk about the form factor before I forget. The TB03 is obviously a lot smaller and a lot lighter than the Avalon Bassline. It's also battery powered, and instead of this one has a lot more to offer on the back panel. Here it has CV and gate outputs and CV and gate inputs, while this one only has CV and gate outputs. They both accept trigger in which you can use them to trigger from an external drum machine, so you can trigger the notes using another sequencer from a drum machine or a modular synth or whatever you have. So that's pretty cool. Also, the Avalon Bassline, it has this little slot right here, which in which you can insert these cartridges and change actually the filter type. I believe they have like Juno 60 filters and Oberheim filters available, so that you can actually use the machine with a different filter, which is pretty cool and flexible. Now I'm gonna talk about the sequencers in both of these machines. They're similar, but they have different modes of entering your patterns. First I'm gonna talk about the TB03. I'm gonna go to an empty pattern here, and on the TB03 you have two modes. You have the original mode from the TB303, as well as a new step mode to enter the notes that you want. So first I'm gonna use the original mode. To enter these, I go to press function and go to mode. You can see it's in original mode right now. So first of all, I'm gonna enter some notes. And let's see, let's change something here. Let's clear it. There we go. And now we enter the timing information for that. So we enter these and the rests. Now we can go on the pitch and enter some accents and some slides. And let's see what we get. Pretty random. Sorry, that was the Avalon Bassline. Here's the TB-03. This is what we got. So that's how we enter patterns in the original mode. Now I'm gonna clear up another pattern, and this time I'm gonna use the step mode. And if we go to mode, original, we change it to step. And then here for this we have to have the machine playing. So I'm gonna enter pitch mode. I can enter some spaces between those notes. I can also make the note full an octave down. Right, and once we have these entered, now I can go check check what we have in there and then those notes, so we can actually put an accent on that one, put an accent on that one, and maybe a slide on that one. See how that sounds? Right. So that is the step mode in this one. Now going to the Avalon Bassline on the sequencing options, we obviously have the original TB03 mode, in which I'm gonna clear a pattern here with function and clear. Now we have an empty pattern for this one, right? So in order to enter the notes in the original mode, we have to first enter the pitch, the notes. So we double click on pitch, and there we go, we have some notes. And now we enter the timing information. And there we have the notes that we want. And now we can also go back to pitch and enter some accents. And slides. See how that sounds. So that's the Avalon Bassline in the original mode. Now we also have this mode of entering notes. I'm gonna clear this pattern up. So we can just double tap record and enter the notes that we want. So it's a lot faster right there. and then we can go and on the notes that we want, we select on the sequencer, and we enter some accents. So that's a very easy way of entering notes. The other way that we can enter notes is if we clear the pattern. We can just enter the notes in here in the sequencer and select what note we want each one to play. So let's see what we get. Again, we can put some accents. We can extend the notes also by doing this. Let's see this one. Right. So very fast way of sequencing. A little more control also instead of the original mode of the TB03, which can be pretty random, which might be a good thing if you like randomness. Now, they both have filter control, resonance control, and now this, the Avalon Bassline, it has this tracking for the filter, so basically the filter is going to follow the note that is playing, so it's going to open up according to what note is playing. That is absent in the TB03. So that's how that sounds. Right. Then they both have envelope control and decay. So that's exactly the same. Which, if we turn on the TB03, can get pretty snappy right there. And then they both have accent control. Now on the when normally on the TB03, when the notes are accented, the notes tend to become a little snappier and shorter. So in this Avalon Bassline, we have this very handy control, which is the accent decay. So if we listen to that, how it's gonna affect our accented notes. It's gonna basically extend that tail for the accented notes. It's gonna extend that decay. Again, it gives us more flexibility on the character of the pattern. Now the patterns, they can be, if you have now one pattern is 1 bar long, we can on the Avalon Bassline we can link 2 patterns. So if I go to this one, then I can link it to the second one. Maybe enter some maybe if I clear up this pattern, enter some notes right there. Right, so that way we can get up to four patterns linked, so that you get a little variation. Same thing is present on the TB03. So right now we're in pattern 4. I can link that up to pattern 3. So now you can see it's going from one to another. And I believe we can do on 4 as well. So it's cycling through all those patterns. So in that aspect of the sequencer, they're very similar, but as you can see, there's a few differences here. Now, another thing, this has a VCA decay, so for the amplitude it has a decay. So if I raise it up, and let's listen how that sounds. I can make the notes really short. I usually like to leave it at 1 o'clock, which is kind of the original TB03 VCA decay. Now, moving on. Now here's a big difference between both of these machines, where the Avalon Bassline has an extra oscillator for a sub, and that can really be a game changer. You can add that extra bottom end that you're losing when you're adding resonance on the pattern. So let's listen how that sounds. Let's listen to the sub by itself. We have 3 waveforms to pick from. We have a sawtooth, a triangle, and a square. We're gonna listen to the triangle. And we can select the octave to be either 1 octave down below the original notes or 2 octaves below. So now we're going really deep. Right, and if we add that, the sawtooth wave that we had before. So with the sub and without the sub. Big difference right there. That's a huge feature in the Avalon Bassline. Then they both have tune control, as you can expect. And on the TB03, right, so we have that. And finally, on the Avalon Bassline, something that's really cool is this section right here, where we can add envelopes to the filter, actually. So if we actually, let's hear this pattern. Alright, so what we do to add a envelope to the filter, we select the notes that we want on that and press this envelope time. Right, and now if I one second. Center this here. I don't know why we're not hearing it. Oh, we were listening to the TB03. Now we're gonna be able to listen to what this sounds like. Right, so you can see that there's some attack that we can add so that that's really cool. Add some extra depth to those acid patterns. That's pretty cool actually, I like it. Other than that, they're pretty much the same. Now I have to say that the TB03 is not an analog machine, it's actually a digital machine. It uses the Roland ACB technology to replicate the sound of the original 303, whereas this is a fully analog machine, and actually I've heard that you can actually even trade parts with the original 303 and it'll still work. So according to sources, this machine is pretty much an exact replica inside. Under the hood, it's the parts are exactly the same as in the original TB303. Plus it has this this extra set of modulations that you can do. To me it resembles more like as a modded TB303, I believe it's called the Devilfish TB303, which is a company that mods TB303s and adds a few extra features. So to conclude this comparison, I would say this is a really good machine. Oh, before I forget, there's an extra feature that this has that this doesn't, and that is the effects section. Almost forgot. The effects section, as you can see, it's right here. And let's hear how that sounds. Right now you have the possibility of adding reverb or delay and overdrive. So let's hear how that sounds. I'm gonna add a little reverb. Get heavy on that reverb. Maybe just a little bit. Now let's add some overdrive. Full overdrive. I like to add just a little bit sometimes. And that also changes the character of things. Again, if I go to this function mode and I change here on the now we have it selected for reverb. We can have a tape delay or a digital delay for the reverb. So let's try the tape delay. Well, that's pretty cool. And if we change that to delay type, I'm going to change the digital delay so we can take a listen to that. That is pretty cool. So that's a feature that's available here and it's not available on the Avalon Bassline, which can be pretty cool, because with this one you would actually have to have an external effects unit to create those effects and give it a little extra depth or personality right there. The other thing I'm gonna mention before I finish this is that the TB03 is also an audio interface. It takes USB, it sends audio through USB, and it actually can be powered through USB if you're not, if you don't have any batteries with you. So it has an external input also, so that you can plug in other instruments into it. And that's pretty much it. They're very simple synthesizers, but they're a lot of fun to use, especially if you like techno music, house music, and you wanna kind of jam for hours on a loop. They're amazing. So this is definitely a cheaper, more affordable version of the clones. This comes at a heftier price, but I think that comes for a reason, because it's fully analog. It has all these extra features, and it's really a professional machine. Not to say that this isn't, but the build quality even is superb. It's built like a tank. So if you're on a smaller budget, maybe think about picking up one of these TB-03s. They do the job. If you want to make some acid house, they do the job perfectly right. And even if you don't want to make some acid house and you want to get some cool bass lines out of it, you can just bring the resonance down and you can get some pretty cool bass lines happening instantly. If you're on a bigger budget and you want to spend on a really good machine or a really good investment, then maybe the Avalon Bassline is for you. Thank you for watching this review between the Avalon Bassline and the TB-03. We hope you learned something new. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel for future videos on tips and tricks in our studio. Also, if you're located in the Miami area, I'm leaving the link down below so that you can sign up for lessons on production, DJing, studio time, and recording. This is Ricardo Lund from Rakoon Sound Studios. I'll see you next time.